Hey traders, John Howell here. I wanted to sort of talk to you about something that I think that's really important that's happening under the surface. I've been asking myself the question, why is there a large percent of the population that's involved with the stock market and trading and stuff like that? Why are they so bearish right now? And what's making them be like that? And one of the things that I've really sort of taken one of the things that I understand about the markets itself is a lot of the population out there, they don't become fearful when their investments are doing really well. They become greedy, right? So what typically happens is when the market goes down or there's a lot of positions going against them, that's when they start to become fearful. And then the fear comes up and then they start to have the terminologies. The fear, the top's in, there's a crash coming. And so I've been looking around all these markets here and I've been looking at this level here, because I saw it even when it comes to, my coaching program, which again, my coaching program is actually closed. You'll be able to see, there's a link in the description for it in there, but it's actually closed right now. So you can't get access to it, because what I do is I normally open up, just a handful of people, generally around 20 people maximum per year, to join what's called my 1% club. If you're on my email list, then I'll let you know when I've opened up a few more spots, and you can get access to that when you get access to the book. There's that link in the description there. You'll be also on the email list, and when I do open up spots, then you'll be able to get access to potentially to be able to apply for one of those as well too. So my coaching program is actually closed right now. Now, one of the things I was thinking about today in just looking at these markets here, I'm like, okay, why is there a large percent of population calling tops? And once again, what I said before was knowing the mentality of a trader in the markets is when markets are going up and their investments are doing well, there's not fear, there's actually greed. Oh my goodness, we're going to the moon. Here we go, to the moon, to the moon, to the moon. I'm like, okay, well, that's actually not what's happening right now underneath the surface. Underneath the surface, there's an overwhelming majority of population who are involved with these markets who are continue to look for a top in the market. And it blows my mind. It really does. It blows my mind because all these markets here, Russell just made an all-time new high. We're at all-time new highs. That's it. The top's it. Same for the YM, right? All these different things that we've talked about before in the past here, right? I'm going to get to these in just a minute here as well. But looking at these markets here, and by looking at what's going on here, I'm like, okay. So there's a lot of fear out there. And the only thing that I can come across what I think about is while the indices are making some really good headway to the upside, here's the YM, which is the Dow. This is the ES, which we're like literally 1% off all-time new highs. And we're about to see a big breakout. And it's building a big bull flag. There's obviously the Dow. There's the Nasdaq there. Nasdaq is only a few percent from its highs, and the Russell is literally just made a new high just a couple of days ago. So we're basically at all-time new highs in there. So when I look at this here, I'm like, okay, the indices are at all-time new highs. What makes this a top? Like, I don't understand where people are coming from. So then I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, I understand. Because there's a huge percent of the population who trade these markets, there's what's called herd mentality. There are a herd mentality around these markets. Like they follow this herd narrative around there. So there's been two big narratives around the marketplace the last couple of years. Firstly, it's been the crypto market, right? So we go down to Bitcoin and stuff like that. Bitcoin. Oh my goodness, Bitcoin, crypto market, crypto boom, crypto banana, blah, blah, blah. Bitcoin, crypto. And what have we been seeing this year, right? We've been seeing what? A wiping away of crypto. I personally am not long-term invested in crypto. I'm not invested in crypto. I have no money in crypto at all right now. I don't understand it, and so therefore people who are mostly involved with the crypto market from an investment point of view, there's a big guess there. Now there's going to be some people say, oh John, you don't understand, I read the white paper The white paper said this, Johnny. You don't understand? I believe in the white paper. Right. Okay, I'm going to write a white paper as well too, saying why most people are morons. Does that... Or should I say, most people who try to call tops in a big bull market are morons. Well, their account is going to be zeroed out, and that's what's going to... Yeah. So that's the first narrative, right? We've seen very big, huge, especially the last couple of years, around the narrative of crypto markets. We can see here, this is the Bitcoin market here, right? Bitcoin's been getting smashed. Very big drop on the downside. Ethereum has just had this really massive rocket ship to the upside. Here we go, Ethereum to the moon, to the moon. You know, Tom Lee said this. Michael Saylor said this. This guy said this. These experts said this. Grant Cardone is doing this. This person said this. This person's investing in Bitcoin here. Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Oh my goodness. Here we go. To the moon. These experts know what they're doing. Let's get involved. And what has happened, like especially the last sort of 5 to 6 months? They've had a bit of a nugget in their pants going on, right? Like, what the hell's going on? I thought this market was going to go up. All these experts were saying the market, you know, Bitcoin to 250,000 or all these sort of crap numbers. And then it doesn't do that. Now, their investment was what? Your investment, which a lot of traders out there have done, their investment into a particular market has been based off what they thought the experts... No one's an expert, by the way, guys. No one knows what's going to happen, but we have probability of what's going to happen, right? Unfortunately, that's where in the market itself, the herd mentality is always wrong. And this is where you're always going to get this narrative around the marketplace here. So I saw this here from, okay, the first thing that I'm thinking now why most people are fearful when the market's crashing, because again, most people are not calling crashes when their investments are doing really well. They're calling to the moon. Here we go, here we go. Market's never going to go down. So the first narrative that I'm trying to think about is that there's a lot of investors in the crypto market. I'm just talking about crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum, let alone XRP. And have I heard the stories about XRP over the last 2, 3, 4 years? Oh my goodness, John, XRP, it's going to be adopted by the president. It's going to be adopted by banks. XRP's to the moon, to the moon. XRP is a piss of poo. Piss of poo. But XRP, is all these individuals are looking at crypto markets, right? And unfortunately, the crypto market has done, there's been a lot of, and you've probably heard the stories, there's been lots of money being wiped away now. And people are under an awful lot of hurt because I believe that a lot of the narrative around, especially the big bull markets, and you've heard all these experts, and I'm using air brackets around these experts, right? Because no one knows what's going to happen. But if I have a indicator, or if I have patterns that set up on the chart that says most of the time this is going to happen from this indicator, that's the only thing I can rely on. Someone that says, you know, all that sort of stuff. So the first thing, again, once again, and I'm saying this because I saw this at the start of this year. If I bring up, say, the stock market here, okay? And I saw this point down, see all this point through here, right? Guess what? When the market's gone to the moon, everyone's happy, right? But when the market starts to drop down here, guess what happens? People are starting to get fearful. I'm like, okay. So they're starting to get fearful there. So it's when the market goes down. So the first thing I'm trying to think about why a lot of people are calling the crash in the markets, because one, their investments in the crypto market have been getting destroyed amongst all these professionals saying Bitcoin to 100,000, 150,000, 200,000, blah, 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 blah. These people out there, right? And there's been the herd, and I've seen it myself, the herd mentality around Bitcoin lately has been crazy. So most people, I think there's a lot of people who are individually invested into these cryptocurrencies are hurting a lot because they've been this Bitcoin, as you can see from the top to where we are now, there's been a 35% drop in their portfolio. Now we're going down a lot. We're going down sharply. That's creating a lot of fear in them. So that fear is what? Then that fear now represents them saying, oh my goodness, the top's in, the market's going to crash. Oh my goodness. Because they're already in a fearful place. Once again, the herd mentality doesn't say the top is in. The herd mentality doesn't say the top's in when things are doing really well. The herd mentality say the top's in when things are doing bad, because they're always on the wrong side. Because I've just been looking at just recently, right? For you guys have been watching my YouTube videos for the last couple of weeks, you would know a couple of weeks ago when we started getting down the bottom here, I started saying, okay, get ready for a move back to the upside. So, and that's where I'm so confident in seeing a very big move to the upside in the in the stock market. It's like, because most of the people that I'm seeing them, even in my comment section, are like, stock market crash. I'm like, I get them. So the first thing I'm trying to think about here is a lot of people are hurting and I'm just talking about Bitcoin and let alone these tokens and coins and all these things that you can invest in now. They're getting absolutely destroyed right now. So that's the first thing I do say is I believe there's a lot of fear in the marketplace because already people are hurting a lot. Now the second narrative of what I've come up with of why most people are thinking that, again, the stock market is going to top and going to crash is the second narrative. The first one was crypto to the moon. Bitcoin is the beast of all beasts, and you should be investing in Bitcoin because Bitcoin's number one and blah, blah, blah. The second thing that I do see amongst all these markets here is what has been the second narrative. Oh, the AI, there's the top 7 stocks, the AI top seven stocks they're the one that's dragging the market up, because if these weren't for these stocks, the market will be down. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have heard that. Guess what? Oh my goodness, I should be in Nvidia. Oh my goodness, I should be in all of these stocks out there. Because they're the one that's dragging the market up and they're going up. And so therefore, guess what? The herd mentality for the last 12 months plus has been stock market has been going up because the Mag 7 has been dragging it up. That's been the herd mentality. That's been the noise out there. Well, what's happened just recently? There's been a change, hasn't it? Why? Firstly, if you actually look at the Mag 7, look at Nvidia. Nvidia has had a huge, from down there to down there, it's actually 20% from its highs. Meta, look at Meta. Meta has absolutely just gotten crushed recently. Meta got crushed 30% just recently, and it's a big down move from here. Barber, look at Barber. Barber's been doing what? Barber's been going through here. Barber's been getting absolutely just crushed. Barber is now, from its highs, down 24%. eBay, look at eBay. eBay down. Amazon. Right, all of these, what we call tech stocks, all of these, the narrative which was, it's the top 7 stocks which is dragging this market higher. There's Amazon there. What about Microsoft, right? The big stocks out there. Microsoft getting crushed as well too. From the high to where we are, 15% down. Netflix, right? Netflix is getting absolutely just crushed right now. From high to low, down 30% so far, and it's still going. So, my whole thinking here is that this is where the fear is coming from. The fear is coming from because a lot of people are hurting right now, and there's a lot of fear. The fear in the herd mentality doesn't just come from nowhere. The fear generally comes from them actually hurting. Oh my goodness, the market's going down. Oh my goodness, fear, 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 fear. So, one, as you can see, don't ever be listening to experts and placing trades off there. Secondly, that there is always going to be a changing of narrative, meaning the big narrative for the last 12 months plus has been stock markets going up because the Mag 7, it's only the top 7 stocks dragging it up. That was the narrative. Well, what's happening now? These big tech stocks are getting crushed, but the stock markets are still at all-time new highs. That narrative is no longer valid anymore. In fact, if you were going down that path of let me invest in crypto because it's the top dog, Bitcoin, and let me invest in these Mag 7 stocks because they are the bee's knees, the duck's guts and cat's ducks and so on and so forth, and they're the one that's dragging the markets up, and we're in this AI boom right now, and AI, and we're getting in early, and so let me invest in those. If you had that particular investor who's now going down the herd mentality narrative of following what the media is saying, you are under an awful world, a lot of hurt right now, because a lot of these stocks have been getting crushed. 20, 30%. Bitcoin right now, right now from Bitcoin right now is down, what's that? Almost 40%. Ethereum itself, Ethereum is down almost 50% from its highs. So there's an awful lot, a lot of hurt out there from people who are trading these individual things. So this is where I believe that most traders out there who are trading the markets, even investing in the markets, I believe that this is where a lot of the fear is coming from. The fear is coming from because they're already going through a lot of hurt. And then when there's a big drawdown in their account and they be getting hit quite hard, that's when fear starts to pick up. Fear doesn't happen when markets are going to the moon and we're at all-time new highs. And it just blows my mind to see why there is so much bearish negativity around these markets here. So right now, and one thing that I've learned through my last 20 years of trading the markets is you never want to put a blanket statement over the entire market. One thing I've learned is I say, okay, if I'm looking at, say, the Russell, and I'm doing analysis on the Russell, this is the Russell weekly chart here, and I'm doing analysis on the Russell, I'm only going to say the Russell is doing this, right? Because they're all different indices, right? They all do different things. The Russell is just breaking out to an all-time new high now after 5 years, where the other indices haven't been, right? They've been in nice bull markets. The Dow Jones has been a bit of a lagger. So we can never say the entire stock market is going to get crashed. Oh my goodness. Well, if you're invested in the AI stocks, yes, you've been getting hurt quite hard. Your portfolio is down 20, 30%, right? Apart from Google. Google's actually done quite well. So I'm seeing this level here. And one of the things that I've learned is that I invest in if I'm investing in something, if I'm trading something, I'm trading based off what that one particular market is doing. And therefore, I wrap this around to like the whole narrative of what people have bought into probably for the last 1 year has been destroying their account. Bitcoin number one, Bitcoin to the moon, Bitcoin 250,000, dead. AI stocks, it's the AI stocks that are dragging this thing up, and it's the AI boom, and we're at the early stages right now, and they're being, there's a lot of hurt right now happening around here, right? A lot of hurt around these markets from here. And so what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at the actual stock market. And now if I'm looking at the stock market from a purely logical point of view, once again, we are now in a very big bull market and we're just starting from strong here. Same for the NASDAQ. This is the NASDAQ. Look at the NASDAQ. This is the NASDAQ weekly here, by the way. NASDAQ had all this resistance through here, came up, came down, found support, held this level from here. Same as the ES. This is the S&P 500. Right, we can see this level from here. Look where we are right now. We're about to break out. Once we break out through here, it's going to break out past this channel. That's a very bullish sign, by the way. And we're about to do this right now. We're literally 1% away from it happening. So there is actually nothing here from the indices point of view to say, oh my goodness, there's fear. And so the only thing that I can think about where all of this fear is coming from, and why most people are calling tops in the markets, is because they've gone down this narrative of following the herd of Bitcoin and cryptos, and it's the Mag 7 which has been dragging the stock market higher. And because if you've been investing individually from these, a lot of these individual stocks in the crypto market have been getting destroyed this last 6 months. So therefore your fear is the top is in, that's it, the stock market top is in. And this is where we can never say, just because the Mag 7's going down, which a lot of them have been, apart from Google and Apple, if you see a lot of these tech stocks out there being getting crushed, that doesn't represent the S&P going down, right? So you want to make that clear from there. So again, because I've just been so surprised to see the amount of bearish. I'm like, where's this fear coming from? Normally, when the market's making really big moves and everything's making really nice moves, there's no top is in. Normally, you don't get that, right? And this is where I know the top's not in. Because a herd mentality doesn't say top is in when the top is in. The overwhelming majority of comments that I see, especially even on my YouTube videos, is I will start to see an overwhelming majority of bullishness, and then that's when we generally start to get top heavy from there. So if you're trying to understand these markets here, guys, and you're trying to get ahead in these markets, and I guarantee you that if you have bought into the two main narratives that's been happening in the last 12 months, and again, once again, that's the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies, and also the Mag 7 and how it's the AI stocks, and that's where we should be investing. Both of those situations, you're under awful lot of hurt right now, and so therefore that's creating a lot of fear in the marketplace. And they're bringing that over into, say, the main indices. And even though the main indices have not done that, they're actually at all-time new highs. Their fear is coming from, oh my goodness, things are getting crushed right now. And it's going to get a lot worse. And so therefore they're saying everything is going to get really, really bad because unfortunately their account looks really, really, really bad.